Happy Thursday, everyone. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about Porsha Williams and Simon Guobadia. Their divorce is finally finalized on June 11th, and Simon did his first interview on page 6 to discuss his divorce and how he was blindsided of this divorce. And Porsha did an interview on People, and we're going to dive in and we're going to talk about the whole gritty, dirty, messy divorce, even though there was a prenup. So, welcome back to That's It. Divorce can be nasty. It can be nasty. It can be bitter. It can just be a whole lot of headache, financially, spending money on legal fees, going back to court, battle after battle. It can be exhausting. And that's what happened to Porsha Williams and Simon Guobadia. And it was just a nasty, bitter divorce, even though they both had prenups, but there was, stipulations in the divorce, and it was just not looking good. And as you know, Porsha is the housewife of Atlanta, and Simon, he was not was, but yes, he was in Housewife of Atlanta because it was his ex-wife was there in that show as well. I forgot her name, but she was there, and then you saw like glimpse of Simon as well. But he was married at the time, which Porsha knew, and you're going to hear what she had to say, her side of the story in his. There's two sides to every story, and I just want to like break it down to you before I show you the clips of it. And let me just show you the clips of the. Look at this beautiful couple. They were happy and love. Was going to spend the rest of their life together, start a family, and then shit hit the fan when Simon had was detained by ICE, and he had to go deported back to his country in Nigeria. And I guess, Porsha didn't know the whole story about his finances and stuff that happened to him. And then she basically blindsided Simon and hit him with divorce. But let's go back to the beginning, you guys. So Porsha and Simon, they met during the film of Housewife of Atlanta in 2020. And at the time, Simon was married, okay? And Porsha knew this. So obviously his wife, and this was Porsha, Simon's fourth wife, and the wife that Simon was married at the time, even though they were going to file for divorce, but they were still legally married. And Porsha knew this. She slipped Simon a DM saying that, I'm praying for you. I'm sorry that you're going through this rough time in your life. And this sucker, he just entertained it, knowing that he's going through a divorce, and he entertained it and started talking to her and stuff like that, while knowing that he was still married, and Porsha knew that he was still married. So basically, you took this woman's husband from her so you can have him for yourself for your own financial reasons, okay? Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, they were separated, they were not together. Still, he was legally married. And I'm not blaming Porsha because there's two people in the wrong with this. He's definitely in the wrong. He knew that he was still married, and he still entertained, talking to Porsha, even though he was still married, and same thing with Porsha too. He was just thinking about his penis, and he just wanted to hit it with Porsha. He knew this, and you got to listen to the interview that he said, and I absolutely agree with him. But let's continue on now. And then early he divorced his third wife earlier of 2021. Now, after Porsha and Simon got married in November of 2022, everything was fine. Then she found out, Porsha, after the marriage, that Simon committed some petty financial, I want to say, um, petty death, something that he did in his early 20s, like over 30 years ago, you guys. Maybe there's something more into it. Also, he didn't really have his citizenship, and there was there was like an issue regarding his citizenship that it was denied, and I guess it freaked Portia out. Instead of her talking to, oh my gosh, hold on, you guys, this is blocked me. Sorry. Instead of instead of she going to him and talking to him about her concerns and the red flags, because she even said in her interview that they were flying to go to a trip, and then he told her that she had to stand in a certain line. Um, in regards to this, I guess because of custom or whatever. And then she thought that was a red flag, and then she asked him questions, and then he just kind of like blow her off. That's according to what Porsha was saying. Again, we were not there. We don't know what really transparent between those two with the conversations. Again, there's two sides to every story. So next you know it, she filed a divorce. She filed a divorce on February of 2024 after 14 months of marriage. Now, she wanted some money. Okay, she wanted a lot of stuff, even though there was prenup. But before I go into that, let's just show you guys the happy couple. Again, this is Porsha, okay, and this is where the lavish. Hope I'm saying it right. High end wedding. So here we go. Whoops, let's not do that. Okay. And they were so much in love until they weren't anymore. So let me get rid of this. And yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I do not miss. And you see, I know that you two have a love that is rooted in God and it is blessed by God. Not anymore. Because Porsha, sometimes you are going to have a long day at work. All the scenes aren't going to go as you plan them to go. And you are going to really need some words of reassurance from your husband. Words like, I'll love you forever. As long as I'm living, my baby, you'll be. They never see nothing, never see nothing. When I tap for the club, you go turn 15. Not the killer for my hood, they won't touch my thing. Kilo they won't break for me, I want laugh over. But she leave me alone, very once. She I just think you once. I bet it in me once. Okay, well. That marriage ended. 14 months of it. Can you believe it? 14 months of marriage. And I bet they spent a lot of money, because this is where their second wedding in the States. They did another ceremony in Nigeria. That's where Simon is from. And like I said, after 14 months of marriage, they called it quits. She filed for divorce. And Simon, according to his interview on page 6, he was blindsided. He was definitely blindsided. He was not expecting this, and he was not pleased. But again, let you guys listen to his own words, what he has to say about it. Take a listen. Whoop.
Regret marrying her?
Absolutely. I said to her in one of my text messages to her, because she didn't respond, because I kept asking her, why did you file for a divorce? And she wouldn't say anything. I tried to reach her mom. Her mom would not respond either. I later figured out this felt like a coup. When I don't know if you're familiar with. I'm from. I say it because I'm from Nigeria, and that we were ruled at one point by the military, and so every so often when you want to change leadership, the president, you stage a coup.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. I was totally blindsided. I was no member of her family, whether on the mother's side or the father's side, reached out to me. And the only person I actually reached out to was her mom, and she didn't respond. And so I essentially sent her a text message. I said this was a $5 million rehab project that I took on. She never shared her concerns or issues with me before filing for divorce. If you're married, I've been married quite a bit. I think I understand a little bit about the dynamics of. I should understand a little bit about the dynamics of a relationship. You discuss issues and say, hey, if this does not change or something does not happen, this is what might come of it.
I agree with him on that one.
We never had those discussions, and I'm happy to share with you text messages where I was essentially blindsided by the divorce fight.
I was actually going to ask you if this was something that you saw coming, if conversations had been had prior. What do you think Porsha's reason was to file for divorce?
I think I was targeted.
In what way?
I was targeted from day one for financial reasons. But when I filed for divorce from my previous, ex-wife, she was in my DM praying for me. And I think I was in a vulnerable position.
Let me just stop him right there. See, now he's playing victim. Now he's playing like it was Porsha's fault. No, it was your fault too. If you knew that you were going through a vulnerable time in your divorce, then you should have called your buddy. You know what I mean? I can understand that, she was, slipped his DM and said that she would be praying for him. Okay, nice. That's great. Then, you know what? Then he should have cut it off right there and then. No, he was thinking about his penis, and that's what he was doing. And now he's trying to play the victim, which he's not.
That time. And I entertained it.
You sure did.
And so it just kind of snowballed from there. Getting engaged in 30 days, who does that? I was out of my goddamn mind.
Pause. I agree with him. And at least he was aware of this. You know what I mean? He knew that he rushed into this fourth marriage way too fast after he just got a divorce from his third wife, and then he jumped into another relationship, got married right away. I commend him on that because it takes a very strong man, a confident man, to realize his mess up, realize his shortcoming. So I commend him for that. I know that was not easy for him to say that, but he recognized that, and he's aware that he made a mistake. So I give him kudos for
that. To have done that, and of course I'm paying dearly for it.
Sure is.
Wow.
All that money.
That brings me to my next topic. There was some reports stating that the judge overseeing your divorce case has upheld the prenup that you guys signed before entering marriage. Are you able to share a little bit about what those terms are or look like?
That you receive $40,000 a month in alimony.
Yes.
For the length of the marriage, which was 14 months. Okay. She gets to stay in the house, all expenses paid, including the mortgage, for 36 months, up to 36 months. And if she chooses to own the home, she would have to refinance the property in her name and take a 50% equity. She would have to give me 50% equity in the home.
Wow. What is your reaction to that ruling and that decision?
It's basically what I've held from day one about this case. When I realized that I was targeted, I've had prenups in previous relationship, and I've honored those prenups without reservation. This time around, I've chosen to challenge in court all the way to the Supreme Court if I have to. This enforcement of the prenup is going to continue to receive legal challenges on the appeal front.
Okay, so you're vowing to appeal this decision for sure.
1,000%.
Okay. So you heard that. He is going to do an appeal because he does not accept what the judge has ruled. And even though the judge has ordered for Simon to pay $40,000, like he said, per month for alimony and lawyer fees, he didn't mention that, lawyer fees, and then Porsha would get the car and the mansion. So like he said, if Porsha decided to keep the house, then she has to refinance the house, and it would be under under her name. Or if she decides to sell the home, then she has to split the profit and give it to Simon. But my question is, now, even though Simon got deported to Nigeria, does he still have to do all those legal pay all these legal fees and still abide by the judge ruling? That's what I mean. I'm curious about that. If anyone can drop a comment and let me know, does he still have to abide by the judge ruling even though he's in another country? And the judge said that he he has to pay 40K for alimony and all that other stuff. So I'm just very curious if he still has responsibility to do all that. Now you heard it first. He said he regrets marrying her. Yeah, he should have thought about that. But again, he was thinking about his penis instead of everything else that it would have affected him later on. And he made like a serious allegation that Porsha was just only using him for money. And I don't know if that's true or not. Again, I'm not in Porsha's head. I cannot corroborate if that's true or not. But he should have known better. He should have known better. And look at that. They had a prenup, and he still had to pay something. So sometimes prenups can hurt you, and they can save you as well. It all depends what state you live. It all depends on the judge, and if the judge is in a good mood or in a foul mood, or if the judge thinks it's fair or not fair. In my honest opinion, I don't think that Simon should pay a dime, anything, out of that 14 months of marriage. He shouldn't have paid anything. You know what I mean? She's the one who filed for divorce. She's the one who decides to leave him. So why does he have to end up paying? For what? I can understand he should pay for the attorney. No. He shouldn't even pay for the attorney fee. She's the one who asked for the divorce. So she should pay for everything. And she should not even get a red cent. They don't even have children together. So I don't understand the judge ruling on that why he has to pay 40K and for her to keep the mansion, for her to keep the car when he's the one who purchased the car and the house and everything was under his name. So I don't think that's fair, to be honest with you. But hey, who am I? I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a judge. That's the judge ruling, and that's it, But it just sucks for him that he has to cough up all this money and pay all that stuff. It's not like he's broke. He is a very successful businessman, and he's from Nigeria. So it just sucks, And he really said that he regrets marrying her. And then look, he has to end up paying the price, and the price. And then reportedly, he has to pay her probably $5 million. $5 million that he has to give her. That's a whole lot of $5 million. That's a whole lot of dough for just 14 months of marriage. That must be nice, I can just marry someone, and if it doesn't work out, divorce them after 14 months, and then I get the house, the car, 40K of alimony, and an additional that, $5 million as well. Must be nice. That prenup is really good prenup. I would love to see what the prenup says, because I want a prenup like that. I should tell my husband that. He'd probably tell me kick rocks. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But anyway, I'm going to let you listen to Porsha's interview that she did with People, and she breaks her silence as well because she couldn't really say much until the divorce was finalized on June 11 of this year. So I'm going to let you listen to what she has to say in her own words. Take a listen.
I can't connect with other men. It's like people trying to introduce me, but it's just when it's not the same, it's not the same.
She filed for divorce.
So, I'm going to do it different this time. I'm going to be alone until I'm whole. And then when I'm whole, then I will, open myself back up so I don't make the same mistake again. When you go through a bad enough breakup, you're like, I don't like nobody. Like, you're like, I don't like nobody. I was sitting there, I was like, do I like women enough? Can I get with a woman? Like, who can come in and fill this void? Like, oh my God, somebody, I have got to be able to sit with someone and feel a part of what I felt with him. But I don't yet. It'll come. It'll come. But I'm like, and I think that now that I'm realizing that, because what I've decided is that I'm not going to look for it anymore. So I'm not going to push myself into dating or anyone or trying to figure out, who do I like? Who can I be around? Because this is probably also part of healing. I mean, just sitting with this, sitting with being alone, sitting with the loss, and let myself heal the loss. And I know I'm crying right now, but I feel good every day, each day. I get better each day. I feel stronger. But I ain't gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard living lonely when you have to live lonely for a while.
Of course, breakup is hard. Breakup is never easy. It's a lot. It's draining. It's emotional. It's physical. It's everything. Breakup and going to divorce is never easy. but she's the one who filed for divorce. She decided to leave her husband because she felt that that he was not being truthful about his citizenship, about things in a financial aspect. And I believe, in my honest opinion, even though they had a prenup together, I believe that Porsha was protecting herself. I believe that, if she believes in her mind, if shit hit the fan, then I need to protect myself. I need to protect my assets because I don't want the government coming after me and after money that I worked hard for over a decade. That's what she believed. And that's what maybe someone told her, an advisor, you need to divorce this man, because if you don't divorce this man, then the government is going to come after you. But then you can't turn around and be sad and cry and do an interview. You're the one that asked for the divorce. You're the one that you filed for the divorce. And again, was Simon blindsided? According to him, he was. But again, there's two sides to every story. Someone's lying, someone's telling the truth. So there's someone not telling the truth here. But all I'm saying is she's the one who filed for the divorce. She decides to leave him instead of like working it out. And even though she said in on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, when she was talking to her attorney, that she said that she asked Simon questions about the finances, stuff like that, and he blowed her off, then you should have kept asking. You could have kept asking. And if he kept blowing it off, then you say, listen, then if you're not going to tell me the truth or tell me what's happening here, I have a daughter, then I'm going to file for divorce, or we just have to separate, because something doesn't seem right. Something seems very off, and there's a lot of red flags. That's what she should have said. I don't know if she did said that. I don't know. Again, I wasn't there. I was not in the house. I was not in the room. In the conversation that she had with her ex-husband, not now at the time, I'm not quite sure. But that's something that I would have said to my husband. Listen, you need to be transparent with me. You need to let me know what is going on and be truthful. Do you have your citizenship or not? What's going on with the finances? Are you in some type of trouble? Are you doing some illegal fraud stuff? I need to know, because I have a daughter and I don't want people to think that I'm involved in this. Something. Now, if Simon decided to not come forward and be truthful, then yes, then let her know this. I'm going to hit you with divorce, and that's it. But just for her to go out there and start crying and this and that and seem like she's the victim, I'm sorry, you're not. You knew this man was married, and you still engaged and to pursue with a married man, even though the divorce was not final. So both were wrong, and two wrongs don't make a right. And when you go after a married man or a woman, don't think that it's not going to bite you in the ass. And sure enough, it did. 14 months of marriage, and look what happened. A bitter divorce. The divorce is finalized. Now he ends up have to pay her. She's in the car. She's in the mansion. She keeps the car. She's getting $40K. In addition to that, like I said, $5 million. And he is shipped back to Nigeria. See, this is what you get. You can't do that. You cannot be, sneaking around and entertaining other women while you're married. God don't want that. I keep telling people that. God don't want that. When you do to others, it comes back to you tenfold. I'm a true believer in that. Some people may not believe that. Some people think I'm just talking out of my ass. But I believe that karma is a real thing. Okay, it is, because I've been screwed many times, and I'm not perfect. In the past, I've done some crazy stuff to people that I'm not too proud of, and they came back to me. It came back to me tenfold, and I told myself I will never do that again. I will do better, and I'm not going to screw people. And obviously, I was young and foolish. I didn't know no better. But now that I'm older and wiser, I don't do that, because I believe in karma. It will come back to you. It may not come back to you right away, but eventually it will come back to you. And with this situation with Porsha and Simon, it came back to them, both of them, because she knew he was married. He was still married, and he still entertained her. And he even said it. You heard what he said on page 6 interview. He regrets marrying her. He moved too fast because he was thinking about his penis instead of his brain. And that's why things happen when it comes to men, because they don't really think. They think down there instead of up here. And that's the problem. And that's when the mistakes happens and come along. And look what happened. This is the result of his mistake. 14 months, and that's it. He's out. She's in. And she has until 2027 to figure out if she's going to keep the house or sell the house, because I think the house it's a lot of maintenance to keep up with. You know what I mean? Can she afford it? She probably can after that $5 million. But like Simon said, he's going to fight this, because he's not pleased of the judge ruling, and he's going to fight it to the bitter end. He's going to bring it to the Supreme Court's trial. And my thing is, can you do that even though he was deported in Nigeria? That's the big question, and I would love to know the answer. And if anyone knows the answer, please drop it in the comment and let me know. And that's all I'm going to say about that topic. If you do like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. That's it, everyone, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.